Am I back? Hello? Yes, I'm back. Okay. So annoying, so annoying. Let's see. I wonder what's causing this issue. Definitely need to set up my desktop for it, I think, so that I don't have to deal with this over here all the time. Dungeon Magic Tactics says, yo, how does the dev going? It's going well, I think. I just am trying to figure out this whole stream situation right now because obviously I crashed just now. And I gotta let people know that I'm here. Stream viewer. Oops, just crashed again. New YouTube link. Then we'll go over here. I mean, this is not going to help. People who are lurking right now is going to be like, hey, what's going on here? But same drill here for the most part. All right. Tisk tisk. We need better like protection from crashes somehow so that it doesn't separate it out. Let's see, the berry world is running. I guess I could see my history, the performance history. Oh no, it doesn't track. Oh well. Either way, okay. So we got the destruction. We got to do objective. Oh, I was in the middle of trying to make the combat action called remote repair. Let's see. Remote repair. That's what I'm gonna do here. I don't know what to do about YouTube though, because sometimes like I want to like leave a chat message, but then like once the stream goes away, it's like it won't let me type in anymore, and people will be confused. I guess that's just the way the cookie crumbles sometimes. Oh, that happened yesterday too. Ah, man, it's so annoying. Oh well. Unfortunately, I don't have like logs of stream records and networking signals and all that, so it'll have to be what it has been. Justin the actor says sup. Hey Justin, welcome. We're doing well. My stream just crashed, so I had to restart. So you're the first one on YouTube side since I crashed and came back. Let's see. Repair action, yes. So we are in the remote repair section here. We're going to say, okay, well, let's connect the cancel request. And then we're going to listen for panel presses. And crew selection change is also a cancel. And we'll say allow station selection. And then this one now will be remote repair. So we're going to add that remote repair. And basically, Justin says, what you making? We're making a spacefaring game called Dread on Arrival. Specifically, this is a kind of inspired by FTL mostly, but a combination between FTL and The Darkest Dungeon, where you manage your crew in this like mysterious, like eldritch space horror type of situation with the psychological thriller-ish part. But I don't know how hard I'm leaning on it. Because so far, the main gameplay is tactics. You're being strategic and you're managing your crew. But then the interest in terms of story is where you get the whole, like, ad's gonna run here in 1 minute, by the way, on Twitch again. Sorry, guys. But yeah. So yeah, that's what we got so far. We're working on currently the combat part. We have a document already, because we want to do our first round. We want to have our first round of playtest with our playtesters, which, by the way, if you're interested, you can go to our Discord, and then make sure you click on Dread on Arrival playtest as part of the interest target. Then you'll get access to our Dread on Arrival channel in our Discord, and we're going to send out some playtest things for playtesters, and all you have to do is play it and fill out a survey, and that will be our first iteration. So we're going to focus on the main mechanic, which will be the combat/event thing with the procedurally generated map situation with upgrades. And once we have that iteration, polish it, we'll go to the narrative portion, and the goal is we'll have a Next Fest release on Steam by next year, about this time next year. Okay, so on combat UI, we're gonna write one more line here. Candidate line. I think the color, I don't know how I'm deciding the color here for the candidate lines. I think candidate or candidate line. Draw it. Ah, yes, here it is. So we'll say elif combat state station. Selection mode, if it is repair, remote repair. Should it be any other color? I think it being blue is okay. Honestly, I'm going to keep it blue. And then, or white, I guess. It could be white. It could be white. Oh, this one. Let's do that. Repair is white color. LV Doodle says, we're so back. We're so back. We're streaming. We're streaming out here. Okay. And then we already set the mode. I don't think we have to do anything else there. Remote repair here. We're waiting on selection. On cancel, we get rid of all the lines. We go back to the move crew. On panel selected, we gotta give something to the panel here. Wait, how does the shield thing work? Huh. Oh, I'm doing it on the panel selection thing. That's not how it should be. I see. Well, whatever. I'll follow along in this example of terrible ways to execute this. Because sometimes... See, the thing is, I just inherited this code. I just gotta pretend that I inherited this bad code, you know? And it's not my responsibility to try and re-engineer and re-architect. Ah, this is so bad, though. No, I have to do it this way. I have to do it in the action. I can't just rely on that. On panels selected, it doesn't... Oh, right. Because it's not giving me which panel has been selected. Okay. I get it. Okay, so we'll do whatever we did for repairing here in the panel selection UI. So station here. And then over here, whoops. Root repair, we don't have to do anything here. Panel is already available, so we don't have to do any of this logic here. Let's say, hey, if the panel is destroyed, don't make it not destroyed, otherwise heal it 1. Sick. All right. So we have remote repair available now. Question. If I remotely repair, I can cancel. Cool. Oh, they are not available. Okay. Okay, that's what I thought. So if you remotely repair a thing that's already full, then nothing's going to happen. You just use your action. Demo says answer. I said question, and then Demo goes answer. That you did. All right. Remote repair doesn't feel that powerful because we don't have the whole crew damage aspect to it yet. So what we're going to add now is a consideration for O2. We haven't done the fire. There's no fire yet. So we want to put a fire status. So if it is burning, the station would take damage. Demo says, you're going to have a giant space squid attacking the ship. That, I mean, hey, don't spoil it. Spoiler. I feel like it has to be there, right? If we're going to mention any kind of like spacefaring psychological horror, I feel like there's some sort of like giant space kraken, right? Okay. Let's see. Thinking about the fire situation, because fire becomes relevant due to whole stationing at a place thing. So repair will be putting the fire off first. Yeah. Or automatically when you repair something, you repair in addition to turning the fire off, I think. Turning the fire off just sounds funny. But you know, putting the fire out. So we need that. If you begin a turn in a station where there is fire, you should take damage. Crew should take damage, yeah? Yes. I almost feel like the damage indicator should say big letter -1 like that, but right now we're not going to worry about that just yet because those are kind of UI aspect of it. Okay. Fire and O2. And then if a crew stays at a station, if they begin, okay. If they begin a turn at a station without O2, they take a damage, right? So what happens if there's no O2? Well, if there's no O2, fire goes out, so it doesn't matter, I guess. Okay, I think that's fine. So let's do that. If the O2 is off, well, I mean, how much O2 are there? I guess that's another decision we need to make here. By default, what's the scale of O2 level? 100? And then player requires certain level of O2 per turn. If the O2 is not flowing, it gets consumed. It doesn't turn off immediately. Okay. I almost feel like there needs to be an info panel now. Like I need to hover over. If I hover over a station, a status report should come out. I feel like. No? Am I crazy in that? I don't think so. I think it's fair. Fair point to have. So for example, I could have a panel container. And then have that stay right here on the right side, for example. And then say this is station info, the station status. Panel. Yeah. Hey, robot. Robot 123. Hello, hello. And then I guess, let's see. What are some things we can have here? V-Box. And have probably label for... This is going to be a little bit ugly, but I think we have to do what we have to do here. Status is fine. I think what we have to do is display everything. So first, I mean, I guess there's not much else to show up. We don't do that. O2 level. O2 level can be an overlay. I don't want this to be too complicated. Sorry, I'm just kind of trying to decide the game mechanic out here. Try not to make it like too crazy, but also make it make sense, you know? And trying to see if that's priority or not. So we already made it so that if the crew stays at a station when it gets destroyed, they die, right? Which makes sense, I think. Just make sure that's the case or not. Handle player ship damage. If it's destroyed, crew member dies. Yep. Dies on the spot. Combat tester here. We will also start the game with... Oh, I think 3 is okay. No remote repair. So we're going to say remote repair is off. No engineering bay to begin. So we'll get rid of the engineering bay. Okay. So I thought about this a little bit this morning. You know how like when you do missile, like it just like, oh, dang. Like it just goes forward and then that's what it keeps doing. I was wondering if you want to shoot in different direction, should you have to turn your ship? Or would that be a different weapon system? You know? I think it's a different weapon system. So I think what I'm going to do, just to make something interesting, well, I should probably do win condition first. So I'm going to do the objective, the neutralize all hostile ship. I'm going to check for that first. And then I'm going to do game over as well. So let's go for that first. So over here, if I go to my standard combat, I have this objective called Destroy Enemy Objective. It checks for if it is successful or not, if it has failed or not, and then it shows what to display. I think the check, which is not being called out anywhere, we're going to have to do that now. So over here, when we're initializing the objective. We're displaying the objective here, like so, by initializing the objective. And then we're displaying it on display. I think we can also save it, because I don't think we're saving it anywhere else, right? Yeah. Once it's configured, it's not showing up. So we're going to say the objective display will keep track with the objectives of our current objectives, which will be an array of combat objectives. And on initialize, it'll take the objectives here. Hopefully a deep copy, but for now we're just going to do it. Robust says that is it. I was wondering on last session how many weapon systems are going to have defense as well. Battery system, energy, cargo. I think those are all relevant things. I really want to add those things. Yeah, I definitely want to have different weapon system, because as I was saying, that I wasn't sure if I should turn, like have a sense of like aiming your weapon instead of just being able to shoot, like because in normal tactics you can do something like this, right? You have this and then you choose where to attack. But I like the idea of each different weapon system doing different things, which allows you to give an upgrade of like whenever you fire a missile, it fires like a little poof on the side or something like that. So it's like restrictive weapon system where you add or switch out your loadout in order to do different things, as opposed to being able to do everything all the time. So yeah, I think that could be fun. And that's like closer to how Into the Breach handles their weapon system, right? There are some options, but these weapon things, like they do very restrictive things. Okay. Anyways, so this happens, and we're going to say on combat not tester, we have our state, and basically on end phase, whenever the phase ends, we check for victory or defeat. Also, we check for that on state change of player, of the ships. I suppose it needs to, because like sometimes the ships would destroy itself by moving into things or something like that, right? Let's see. Should it be done on state change, or should it be done on combat map update? I think, you know what? I'm going to do that. So over here, when the map info changes, so that's, I think, battle grid handler. Every time things change here, on piece position changed, things happen here. Handle player ship damage. Yeah, we all did all that. I think, because we're not, I mean, we are exiting early in some cases. Takes damage, returns. I mean, this means nothing has changed. Thanks for the raid. Hey, Nourish. Is it Z-Nourish? Z-Nourish? Either way, thanks for the raid, everyone. I hope your stream went well. A little shout out here. Yeah, tell me, how was your stream? Snurish. Oh, is it Snurish? Okay. Robot on YouTube says, precisely. Did you like Into the Breach? How much time did you play it? I played only with first trio robots, not the others. They were too difficult to handle for me. Yeah, I mean, I played a lot, actually. I like the achievement. I like the unlocking thing. It does get really hard. So I didn't finish, but I really enjoyed it. It's like one of the perfect information game, right? But same as FTL. FTL was too hard too. And I only finished this a few times, but I didn't really like do all the stuff. So I think it's somewhere in between. Like it's like finishable, it's learnable, but it's not so difficult and repetitive that it's hard to do. BrainsApp says Into the Breach was too boring for me. Whoa, that's crazy. Well, I mean, so for each their own, I guess. Snurish says, thank you for the shout out. Appreciate it. Hope you are having a nice stream. We're having a great stream right now. Trying to get our playtest ready for our first iteration cycle for the combat for our game Dread on Arrival. I guess I should kind of explain this a little bit since there is a raider. By the way, a few things here. We do have this stream overlay thing. Not overlay, but this like mini game is a collectible thing. You grab, if you're on Twitch, you can redeem plant berry seed, and then you can water them total of 9 times to turn them into one of the available berries to get a little berry folk. And there's limited supply. So as you can see, how many have been released out there so far and how many are available right now. So for example, normal berries, there are infinite amount, but the wise berry here, there's only 1 left right now. And whenever somebody raids me, everybody gets a 10% chance of getting a shiny version of the berry. So every berry has a shiny version. So that's it. Anyways, that's some interaction. Other thing, that's made in Godot, by the way. I made it in Godot. The game we're working on is called Dread on Arrival, which is FTL / a Darkest Dungeon inspired crew management game, which we want to focus on the stress management of the crew with like the members getting psychosis and stuff, but we do have like narrative components that we want to add. Right now we just finished making roadmap. Hey Kado. And we just finished making a design doc here. We've been working on it for a little bit, but we just locked it in. So you can see there's this like narrative portion where you can do stuff in the main scene. And there you can click on things to have like little dialogue and explore in this view. And once you start departing and going into other places, you get this like procedurally generated map stuff like a roguelike. And you can click on each event revealing the fog of war to get to a destination that you can get to. And there's an aspect of discovering a new location that way. And each of those events may be one of these tactical games, right? So in our goal to reach our playtest, finally, right now we're on developing the combat tactics plus the procedurally generated portion, because that itself can be a game, right? Standalone. And I think that being fun is the main game cycle for me. So I'm working on finishing this out. And that's our goal right now. So that's where we're at. Let's see. Snurish says, I see. Demo says, hey, what happened to Courage? Does he still come around? He's around. I think I've been off and not giving him enough attention, enough that he kind of retired a little bit. I know Courage also had a lot of issues with other streamers and stuff like that. I just kind of like, I gave them warning pretty straightforward. But, you know, nothing exciting. So I haven't seen them in a while. Cooley says I almost forgot about Courage, yeah. Robust says the stress level of crew in your game is going to be at high level of fun entertainment for player. I mean, I have almost never seen stress levels in game before. Did you? Maybe old UFO games? I think the most recent example of stress level being one of the main mechanic, well, not really main, but it was a main theme, was Darkest Dungeon, right? What I liked about Darkest Dungeon's stress management system was that when the character gets fully stressed, there's a chance of gaining this like psychological effect, which I really enjoy. And my goal is for crewmate to have some sort of like pros and cons, because if you get psychosis, it's usually to protect the person, right? Like you get the psychosis as a protection, but it has this side effect because it does its job. It's like it does its job of protecting the person in a very specific scenario. But then as soon as you apply it to something else, it's like, okay, well, it's a downside, you know? So Robo says, I played Darkest Dungeon, but it was horror. I was feeling very bad about my heroes going mad. Yeah, exactly. It feels bad. I think I want you to feel a bit more attached to the crew and managing the stress, and like it doesn't feel as drastic to get these psychoses, and there's some sense, like better sense of kind of resolving that and changing it. Hopefully, we'll see. But we'll get to it. Right now, so far, we're just working on the tactics part of the game, so we'll see how the psychological part plays. But I think it's important to think about that. Okay, we said we're going to do objective check. So the objective check happens, I wanted to do it on when the pieces get damaged. So far, pieces only get damaged during during a play or during the movement, but I don't want to rely on this part only. So what I'm going to do now, is have a signal for each of the pieces. The combat piece will have a signal indicating that its status has changed, right? I guess, or that the health has changed. I don't know. Maybe status changed. And then that will be emitted when the damage has been taken or movement has been made or what else is there? I think the ship piece has its own thing. Maybe not. When it's... I think this is all good. There's no like... Yeah, there's no sense of destruction here. And then for the player ship, we handle player damage here since it's a different thing. We can get the player ship, our player ship as ship piece, and replace this. And basically, what's going on here? Oh, indentation is wrong. Where am I indenting? What? What do you mean? it doesn't like the way I indented. Oh, this. I didn't realize I did that. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is when the player gets damaged, which is right here, we're going to say, hey, the player ship got damaged. So we're going to emit status changed for the ship, player ship. And then one more when it gets destroyed as well. We should probably do it at the end after doing all the... Well, I'm not sure if I'm... Okay, I set it to destroyed, cruise, something's going to happen. That's fine. All right. Thanks for the follow, Pecchio, or Pexio. Denmal says, when their stress is high, you should have the game do unexpected stuff. For example, a crewmate is super stressed and accidentally starts firing off rockets or sets a fire in the cabin, which makes the ship take some damage. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of like how Darkest Dungeon also handles that whole stress thing, where if they have these, like, they have stuff like, for example, like selfish. They become like selfish, or they develop kleptomania. And like, if you have those things, they have a chance of acting on their own instead of per instruction, which is interesting logic, but it's mostly frustrating because, I mean, that's the point of Darkest Dungeon. Darkest Dungeon is that it's a very difficult horror game. So we kind of want to manage that well. So we'll see. Pacquiao says, first one was right. Love that little detail on the bottom with viewers. How does it work? It's a little streamer integration. We created with Godot. We developed it ourselves. To get your little own berry, you need to redeem channel point called Plant Berry Folk Seed. You get a little plant. And you get to water them. Of course, you can see the watering redemption. There's a X3, X1, and X9. If you water them 9 times, you get a berry folk. And the type of berry folk you get depends on what's available on the pool. So you see right here, on the top right corner, there are availability. You can see there's 2 berry island here. Somebody got a wise berry already. Blueberry. There's an infinite number of normal berries. And basically, it's like a... I guess it's kind of gachapon. It's a little collectible. And there are some commands like, if you do berries command, you can see how many berries you have. For example, mine is shiny, so I can do shiny to turn it on and off. So this is a non-shiny version. And then you can kick. You can kick. If you kick someone with the crown, like I have all 3 crowns, you can steal the top crown, and then the crowns give you additional chance of getting shiny version of the berry folk. So that's something. You can lurk to sit down, etc., etc. That's how it works. Pekka says you're using Godot. Yes, we're using Godot. Denim says, I never actually played Darkest Dungeon, but that's cool. Yeah, it's very much acquired taste. A lot of people, it's like huge split in terms of people who like it and hate it. I haven't seen anyone who kind of like it. They either really love it or hate it, because it is very random. It feels like very like chance-based game in terms of strategy is concerned. But then if you treat statistics as statistics, then it feels predictable. You know, Rainzep says, subscribe now to refill your berries and get the special emotes. Yes, exactly. Maybe I wish I could do something for subscription. There is a signal for or event for first-time subscriber, but there's no event for just regular subscription. There's gifted sub. There's some special events that happens on gifted sub. Robot says, Darkest Dungeon. Very difficult on gameplay. After a while, all your hero goes mad, even on easy difficulty. Yeah. I mean, managing that is kind of part of it. And then if you get really attached to one of your heroes, bad time. Because, spoiler alert, you will have to kill one of your characters, so there's no avoiding it. Okay. I was in the middle of something here. I get distracted so easily. I'll have to conserve my voice, make sure I conserve my voice, because this weekend I have to record some videos, some tutorial videos out here. So we'll see. Okay. So we said, what did I say? Oh, yeah, objective. Ah, gosh, I got so confused. Okay, so we did the emitting of status change on the ship. So what we need to do in the beginning, I think, whenever we are adding a piece, I think, add piece. Yes, here it is. Whenever we're adding a piece, because it comes through here, we will connect. Oh, it's a resource. Place overlay. Yeah. Oh no, that's place overlay. We want to do something else. Add piece. Place character. Is there like place character here? Or is it all handled in initialized pieces? I guess it is done here. So when we're initializing pieces, we're placing them on the grid. When we're placing a piece on the grid, we're gonna connect a signal if it's not already connected. So we'll say if piece signal was called status changed is connected to on piece status change. If it's not, then we're going to connect that and then bind the piece itself. Not that it matters, but we'll do it. It doesn't like it because, oh, this doesn't exist. So we gotta do that one. So create that handler. Like so. And then we want to disconnect it when we're removing the piece, I think. Place. How about remove piece from the grid? We're going to disconnect its signal called status changed. We'll disconnect it from on piece status change. Yep. Robot on YouTube says, Ezra, please, from my point of view, is it possible to show the all people chat in right down corner of your screen at a bigger scale? Make the window bigger and maybe add bold text. I can't see it well. That's fair. Potentially. Let's take a look. I mean, I reduced it because it was a little bit too overwhelming, but we can change its style to boxed, which is bigger, I think. Let's see. Test. Which is a little bit bigger. And we'll increase the size. Like that. How about that? Unless you want to see more of it. I think this is okay, right? I mean, only problem is that it'll start covering me at some point. But maybe this is okay. There you go. Okay. You know what's funny? Oh, not funny, but speaking of supporting me, I'm surprised that the steady sale I'm making on this. So I created this for one of my other games that I'm going to finish called Blood is Mana, the tactical deck builder. So I created this asset pack because I'm making I do a lot of isometric game making apparently. So I released it being like, hey, you know what? You can buy it if I make future changes and then the price increases, you get to keep it regardless. So I released it and I didn't think that it was going to sell at all. But hey, every now and then, not enough to be impactful, but it does come enough that I'm like, oh, okay, if I have like multiple asset packs, I could see it doing pretty well. So that's interesting. Which is to say, I need to start making more asset packs. All right. Test. Yes, I see your chat. People are quiet right now. All right. So we did that. We're connecting the signal and we're listening to it. We say on piece status changed. We're going to check for objectives. And I believe the objectives are available on the UI here, objective display. So we'll grab it from there. On ready. It's not here, so we're going to add that real quick. So what we're going to do, on change, we're going to grab the combat state, combat UI, objective display, current objectives, and we'll say, hey, well, actually, we should probably do it this way. We say, check objectives, something like that. And then we'll go to here, add something called func check objectives. We'll just go for objective and objectives. Objective dot is success. Success. And then we'll check it is fail. I suppose we want to mark it if it is successful or not. Objective line. We'll go right here. So I can. Oh yeah, it's a check mark. Great, it works. So we'll mark it as pressed. Otherwise, we're gonna have to strike through, but I don't know how to do that just yet. So we go to objective display here. Robot says thank you. Text is more visible now. Good, good, good. Dungeon Magic Tactics says, I just recently started buying asset packs from itch.io. Yeah, no, once you go, you're like, oh my gosh, this is so much more convenient. And people actually really undersell their asset pack. I mean, prime example is myself as well, because I don't want to charge too much. Daniel says, sorry, sheesh. What happened? It's failed. You know what? I'm not going to even check if it's failed or not. I'm going to check if it's successful. If it is successful, we want to mark it, I think. Oh, Denham says, oh, you said everyone's being quiet. No. I was saying that because Robot wrote tests, and I assumed because Robot was wondering if the chat was working or not. And I was saying that, oh, you don't see anything right now because people are being quiet, which is okay because everybody's doing their own thing. I mean, this is technically still work hour for a lot of people. I'm surprised that the prime streaming hour is still during the workday. Honestly, though. Cooley says, I can't believe I was speaking. No, I'm not shaming you guys. Come on. It's okay. You know what? It's funny because as soon as you guys start coming out of the lurk, our concurrent viewer count goes up. Because that's just how Twitch does it these days. What we need is, I need to make a... Oh, no. Don't... Okay, I'm not going to say it. I don't want to get flagged. I don't want to be like, oh, I need to make a bot for my viewers. That would be crazy. Denimal says, I should really ignore my work and give Ez my full attention. That's my fault. Yeah, exactly. How dare you? Go says, I have today off, so I'm okay. Haha. Nice. Okay. All right. The secret plan is this. I mean, clearly I have 1,395 followers, right? But not all of them watches me at the same time. Imagine if they did. That would be amazing. But they don't. They follow me, but they don't all watch. What if... All right. What if... Because some people never turn off their computer. What if we ask for voluntary Trojan horse or Trojan virus installation, where whenever I go live and I push notification, whoever doesn't turn off their machine automatically opens my stream, and then the mouse moves, right? Ah. or here's another one. All right, you didn't hear it here first. What if Tenable says I work in cybersecurity, I could use my powers for evil. Exactly. And then another one is the input copy. So for example, when I start stream, whenever I open Godot, everybody else who owns Godot, their Godot also opens. And whatever I type happens on their Godot. So they're getting duplicate of my code. It's like a extreme ways to do backup. I guess that's technically keylogging myself, which can go really badly, I suppose. I could be exposing my passwords and stuff if I'm not very careful. All right, just give me a second. I'll be back. I'll grab some water. I'm back. What happened? LimeWire? Yeah. Back in the day. People don't know the pain of needing to download music and anime through peer-to-peer connections. People have it good these days. Robot says, you said you like ISO games. Don't you plan to make 3D tic-tac-toe? ISO fantasy chess? ISO kind of into the Breach game as next project? I mean, I could. Like, thing is, like, maybe. I mean, there's so many ideas for next projects. I already have, including this one, I have 3 projects that I'm planning on releasing within next year. And so I have plenty of work cut out for me. But if we're saying, like, hey, let's make this like simple concept game as like a tutorial, for example, for videos for other people to learn from, then I'm game with that one. Because in my planning and road mapping, I do take the video making time separately, which is a lot of work. Actually, I have a lot of work to do. And eventually it'll pay out. So I'm not too worried about it not paying out yet. I do believe that it'll pay out. So we'll be good. Let's see. We got Jay Cannon says, we used to have a tool that would let us control the remote computer with Trojan. I cannot remember what it's called. Dang. Yeah. What was it? There were some tools out there. Optics Pro. Is that what the Trojan is called? There was an application that also allows you to remote control, which is always suspicious as heck. Daniel says I got a virus back in the day that would just open and close my CD drive. Was super annoying. Daniel says that's what I got for using LimeWire. Exactly. Oh god, LimeWire. Virus City, yeah. Downloading directly from someone. What could go wrong? Exactly. From someone's computer. And you have no way to check what it is. I mean, internet itself, it didn't have to be a peer-to-peer connection. It's just like downloading things offline was always a roulette. And that's why the virus program used to be really like popular, and all the virus program or the antivirus programs were very like successful, the companies. But now we don't worry about that as much because the OS itself handles some security, but obviously it doesn't do everything. People are a little bit smarter, and now we have ways to officially download things and buy things as opposed to needing to do it sneakily. So Denmal says, I miss the old HTML sites with those flaming texts. I remember like a lot of GIFs, right? A lot of GIFs. Good old days, good old days. Good old like tiled background and backdrops on the web pages. And iframe. Remember iframe? Ugliest thing ever. But that's what we had. They said, oh, I can make my navigation section and then the main page section separately for my website, so I don't have to rewrite everything all over again. Sign me up. With a gray bar. Great. Good old days, good old days. Okay, well, enough nostalgia here. We're going to check for objectives here. So on destroy enemy objective, the success is simple. It is going to be just get tree, get all the nodes in group called enemy. I think that's what it's called. Yes. And for... oh, I guess I could filter this. I could say, hey, filter this. And then we'll say enemy, which is actually type. This might break though. Combat piece. Return only if enemy's current health is greater than 0, right? And then we could say count or size our live enemy count, and we can say, hey, is this 0 or less than equal to 0? Then it's successful, otherwise it's failed. And over here on the objective line, whenever we're checking, or not objective line, but on the objective display, whenever we're checking the objective, Cooley says, I love that line. Gotta save it for later. What line? It says, sorry, on my way to midlife crisis. Yep. We're all on our way. I'm already there. I mean, technically, I'm on my midlife crisis, I think. Because I'm what people would consider midlife. Isn't midlife like around 40, right? I mean, I'm pretty close. I'm like, I passed mid-30s, so... yeah. Jay Kennan says, I'm there. Yeah, exactly. We're all here. Hello, everyone. Midlife crisis folks, unite. Support me. And we'll support each other. That's how it's going to work. I don't know how that works. What happens? Okay, here's a. Gosh, I mean, this is like manipulation, like it's almost inside trading. So, if 70 people or 100 people with same goal of wanting to do their own thing gather together, right? And then they stream 1 hour a week, okay? 70 people, 1 hour a week, that's 70 hours. I mean, that's still a job, isn't it? And then everybody in the group, who's 70 people, check in to everybody in the group, right? Then, without paying anything, you're letting Twitch make you a partner. So we gain 70 partner. I do think that there will be a flag in the metrics if that happens. I mean, that seems like a viable thing. That everybody benefits and you're just draining money off of Twitch. But I guess it's like Twitch is actually not gaining anything. Robust is flagging what? Matrix? Well, I mean, you're not supposed to tag user IDs or like IPs, I guess, so you wouldn't be able to identify that it's the same 70 people that's watching each other. Let's see. Daniel says motorcycles for everyone. Oh, no. My midlife crisis involve no danger. So I probably will never ride a motorcycle. What I do ride though is a scooter. Lime scooter through the city. And it's actually pretty dangerous. I fell pretty badly like twice already. Cooley says I bought one already. Wow, you guys. And then says, lucky my daughter won't let me. Well, it's good to see. I mean, it's fair. Dude, everybody... Yeah, no, motorcycle accident is no joke. It's crazy. I mean, I just know too many people. Who's, yeah, we don't want to do that. Scary stuff, man. All right, let's see. Just checking. Okay, so check objective. So this is going to check things properly. Only thing is that this line is not going to do things correctly. Oh, right. Okay. I think we need to do this instead. We're going to pack the objective onto the line. So we'll have the objective object, which called combat objective, as part of this. And when we're creating this, we're gonna include that as part of it. Instead of having this, and delete that, we'll check for the container, get children, elements, and then we'll say var objective line, objective display line will equal to L as objective line. Objective line dot objective will be checked. If it passes, we're going to say the press will equal to true. Otherwise false, but it flips once, so it's okay. All right. Let's test it. Demo says, all right, heading off work. I'll talk to you later. All right, bye, Denimal. Thanks for stopping by. It was good to see you. Have a good one. Let's see. Let's try to destroy... Oh. Okay. Immediately it says nil. Get line container. Line. guess I might have to just filter this. Also, why is it nil? Interesting. I guess we could do this so that it's not nested. Ooh, ad starting 20 seconds, everyone. Hey, Tony. We traded Denmal for Tony. Thanks for the sub. Wow, first month. RamXB. Thanks for supporting me in these dire times. Can't thank you enough. All right. We're gonna shoot this guy. Missile. Poof. All right. We got one. Let's get our second one. Hopefully this will trigger. Oh, it's hidden under the asteroid, so it's going to take a little bit of time. We're fighting. Oh, our weapons is critical. It's okay, we're going to destroy it. It worked! Look, do you see it? Objective. Neutralize all hostile ship. It's been checked. It's working. Sick. All right. And I guess we need a victory screen for this. I don't know how we're going to do the victory screen. I wish, ideally, some sort of animation. Objective complete. Hey, hype train. Wait, how did hype train just start? I guess we had enough sub today. Well, all right, everyone. Hype train. Woo! Appreciate it. Robot says it looks great. The only thing I don't understand is why you have to choose the crew on the left and type of attack on the right. It seems confusing. Okay. Valid point. We wanna probably clarify that better. Basically, it's not type. So crew is like who you are moving with, right? Each crew has an action. And then the right side is the station, like the available stations on the ship. And each ship location has different actions. Hey, thanks for the gifted sub, Denimal. Hey, coolly got it. Look at that. I think gifted sub also has a... Yes, it's working. 15% chance for shiny. Thank you. Thanks for gifted sub before going off to work, I guess. Wow. Good days, good days. But I was explaining, Robot, basically the station matters and where the crew is. So this indicates where the crew is at, right? So it's like you're moving the crewmate to a different station on the ship. And you get to do one action. And this is the action, this is the station. So it's like you're going from left, right, bottom, which I guess is pretty annoying. It's just working with the estate, screen estate is a little bit difficult. What I do want to do is be able to do 1, 2, 3, like select a crewmate by clicking 1, 2, or 3. And then, so keep your mouse over here so you can do 1 here, 2 here, and 3 here. And then each of the actions having like the keyword, like QWER. so that you can just kind of do that quickly. But that's probably the future. Denimal says, shh, I'm not supposed to be here. Oh, I see. Denimal's working. Denimal's not here. I really am leaving now. Lol, no problem. See ya. All right, bye, Denimal. Thanks for us up. Robust says, thanks, I understand. Great. Great. It's working. Okay, so what have we got here? I think we made it so that the objectives can be marked. And I think... Okay, so into the breach, the objective being complete doesn't end the game. Usually. There's like designated number of turns always, and you're supposed to reach the objective clearance by the time the game is done. For us, is that the same? Where, okay, so we're neutralizing all hostile ships. As soon as that's done, do we receive victory? Or is the game only over when you basically move down to the FTL point and then jump? I'm going to say as soon as the objective is cleared, I think the game should be over. Like the combat should be done. So that's what we're going to do here. So for this, we will signal victory on objective clear. Signal bus here. We're probably going to have game state change. Probably go to victory screen here. What are the phases? We do have victory phase, so we'll do objective complete. Complete state. So we're gonna do that. And objective complete state transition will happen on check objectives are done. So combat UI here. Oh, peace that's not even used. So we'll do that for now. Combat state is still broken. Combat UI is broken. Oh, we have some cyclic issue. Combat state. We're having a hard time parsing this because we can't parse combat state. Oh, here it is. Okay. Victory doesn't exist. There you go. All right. What's next? We want to, on objective display, when we check objective and var is objectives, all objectives complete. Starts as false, obviously. And basically, after that, we'll say this one equals this and, well, I guess we should do true here. This and pressed. And at the end, if this is true, we will signal out from the combat bus, or not combat bus. I think we're, yeah, combat bus. which is not available here, so we're gonna add that. Combat signal bus. Which doesn't have any assignment yet. So we'll come over here. Provide it. We'll say combat signal bus and phase emit combat state phase right here. Say objective complete. So we're transitioning to the objective complete state immediately over here. So on transition to objective complete, we probably just, for now, display victory, and then we're going to have to do the whole, like, how do we reset the combat? How do we delete it and stuff like that? So for now, we're just going to put a UI that says color rect, which will be victory overlay. And we'll just make it full rect. Like so. Like that. Put a label that says victory. And then center this out. On layout, yes, correct. Seems a little weird. I'll center this. I'll just put it at the center, and then TTF. Make this equipment pro font. Oh, did I mean to move the font around? Okay. Label setting. I guess I'll do override. Like that, and font size to be like, I don't know, 120. Victory. Simple enough for now. Just display that. So over here, we'll have a function called show victory screen, which will just go visible equals true. For now, obviously, hide is just simply false. And I suppose this would get hidden on reset if there is a reset. On ready, blah, 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 no reset. We'll figure the reset out later. So on combat UI, when the state changes to objective complete, we'll just say, hey, UI, show victory screen. Nothing happens. Under process, this is just objective complete. All right, sick. Defeat detection. We'll do the same thing basically. I'm not gonna make it too complicated. Defeat overlay. Say game over. Aaron Gaming Dev TV says Twitch told me to do it. Oh. He opens up some packs. I got the little booster packs. Ooh, oh my gosh. Okay, I've just forced spawn bunch of people. Hypnotic is here too. Yeah, I see you, all the lurkers out here. You can't get away. I can force you onto the field. Calling us out, exactly. J Cannon was also not in. Whoa, look at Apollo's strawberry. Dude, you need to start replanting. So by the way, trick, you get a free plant if you do a replant command. It uses 5 of your normal berry folk to plant, make a new plant. Just an FYI. But I guess if you want to just be huge, I can respect that. You just want to be huge. Alright, you know, I'm gonna get huge. Look at me. Ooh. Aha! Who wants to see me code? Just see my face. That's what's up. That's all you get. Not my code. Alright. Alright, so... what is a lose condition here? I suppose just like the objective, technically I should be able to do defeat condition as well. Defeat. This one, I guess we can check. Basically, if the player ship is destroyed or not. I don't know where I would check that though. How would I know if the ship is destroyed? The player, okay. I need a state check here. I'm gonna make one where it says function is, well, hold on. A few things. Is crew wiped? Right, that's a boolean. And then we're gonna say, is ship destroyed? Because if you have a crew, you still can fix portions of your ship. So technically, you can still have the game. So I think it is a 2 separate check. Combat UI, station info. We're gonna get the station info container, and I guess stations. Oh, jeez. Let's take a look at all the functions that are available. Get marked station target, get panel, get panels. So this is what I'm gonna do. Go get panels. And for each one of these, for panel and panels, panel is destroyed if var all station destroyed is true. So if any one of these are false, it's going to set this to false. So it's going to do that. For crew wipe, same thing. Combat UI, crew info container, crew to info, get crew info panel. I guess I could get all of them. So I'll say crew info. This is a selected one. Reset turn, select panel. Let's say get crew panel. I guess I should provide one that's called get panels too. Get panels, which will return array of crew combat crew panel. That is simply return of values here. Hopefully that typing works. I have a feeling this might not work, but we'll see. They might yell at me for this one. All right. So we say, well, let's get all the panels. And for crew panel in this situation, crew panel, I think, health bar, current, or value. Yeah. If is less than or equal to 0, that means it's dead. This means alive. So we'll say var all crew dead is true. And then that will be over here. So if any of the crew has 1 or more, this will be true. Okay, so it needs to be like this. Okay. All crew are dead. Hopefully that works. It doesn't like this. Okay, cool. This crew wiped. And then we're going to check that on this. Check objectives. We're going to check if the crew wiped. So we'll check this first. Game over takes precedence. So we'll say if crew is wiped, we're going to signal out signal bus and phase, emit combat state, or I guess we're already there. So our combat state, phase, game over, or what is it called? Defeat. And then return this. Otherwise, we're going to check for objective victory here. On player status change, that's going to happen. On defeat, what happens? On defeat, if we get a defeat here, when we transition to defeat, we'll say, hey, you, show defeat screen. And that will be same thing as this, except it'll be defeat overlay. Show defeat screen. Hide defeat screen. Put defeat overlay here. And then make it visible and invisible. Cool. All right, let's see if we can get a game over. And let's see if we can get a victory. Then it is invisible. Yep. So we come over here. Let's get our crew destroyed. We'll put one of them onto the station there. Oh, it survived. Okay, we're gonna put 2 of them to O2. Move. And then we're going to move into the asteroid. Stay. Please destroy me. Okay, everybody go to the power station. Yes, they took damage. Okay. Next one, go to the navigation. Take your damage, crew. You do as the captains say. I, as the captain, has plenary authority. Is that too topical? Okay, one of them died. I mean, I left, but it's not that funny. It's not funny, the situation, I mean. All right. Absolute cinema. We're defeated. Okay, time for victory now. Wow, this is feeling good. Feeling good. Okay. All right. Let's see how difficult it actually is. Probably is very easy. So far, it seems like it's very... I mean, having through crewmates makes it for a very easy experience, I think. Okay. Yay! All right, worked. Victory and defeat works. No reset right now, though I kind of want to do it. That's just screen. So we're not going to do any type of like resetting and repeating, because right now we want to make it so that the combat tester, which is the overall combat UI thing, they need to have a control over all of this. So what I think is this should actually be on canvas layer 2, because this is the overall debugging tool. And this one is going to block the mouse input. 666. Now I gotta actually fix the other stuff, which is I start the standard combat. If I restart it, it should start a new one. But right now, as you can see, it duplicates. It doesn't clean the map. So we need to put in the ability for the navigation combat to reset. That's what we're going to do here. So on restart pressed, we are initializing the combat here. And on initialize, we got to make sure everything that's in the thing gets cleaned. But before that, we probably want to hit reset first. Come over here and say, hey, before we do this, we're going to reset. Or maybe not reset, clear. Yeah. This may or may not work. Removing the configuration. We're cleaning the station info and crew info, but we're not cleaning the... And we're already hitting reset here anyway, so we gotta change the reset, I think. For the reset, we gotta make sure that the state is initialized, right? Okay, overall I think it's pretty simple. So we do combat state, we say reset or initialize, right? Combat state gets initialized, which sets the current phase. It sets some of the variables to a starting variable number. Gotta make sure all of this is properly set up. Right. Setup. Objective complete is false. Station selection allowed is false. All right. And then the combat map info, I think, needs to be cleared out. Right. So over here, let me just make sure that happens. We're clearing objectives. Sick. Combat config gets added. The power reserve gets reset. Crew information gets reset. The combat map regenerates based on the player information. So the map gets reset, seems like. It's the battle grid that needs to be cleared out. So over here, say battle grid clear, or yeah, we need battle grid clear. And we'll add that. To local clear grid. Oh, it already has it. Nice. So we'll do clear all the lines from... Oh, no, these are just lines. We need to clear pieces, I think. So we'll say func clear pieces. Which I guess just remove all the children that are on there? Huh. Apparently, grid itself doesn't really have much. I think what I can do is can just go through the children. P says, hello, senpai. How are you doing? We're doing well. We're having a good time. We're making our progress. We did victory and defeat condition. It's working. Now we're working on restarting the game so that it restarts. And then we can add some additional features like fire, different weapon types, O2 handling. So that way we can have multiple variations of different game mode, which we can, initially I'm not even sure if I'm going to do like upgradable version. I want to do a initial testing of increasing difficulty. So basically without the upgrade, I want to test and make sure that the game is fun strategically. Meaning if there is a challenge, the challenge is in figuring out how to solve the situation. Right now, there's not much variation because you have shielding, you have movement, and then you have only one directional weapon firing. So only time the situation can change is if the enemy does the things differently. So we're gonna probably test that out. But before that, we need to make sure we can restart the game without any hitch. So over here, we're hitting reset. And we set the battle grid. I think what we need to do is remove pieces from it, which is for element in battle grid, get children. If element is combat piece, basically remove it. Except the grid cursor. Grid cursor is default. Though I guess I could add this programmatically instead. And a little tricky here. We'll figure it out. Combat piece, yeah, that's fine. It doesn't have any other indicator. So I think what we can do element is not grid cursor, which I wanna maybe I can give it a type. You know what, I'm gonna give it a cursor. Grouping here. So over here we'll say if it is in group cursor. If it's not, then we can remove child. Element. And we can queue free the element. Hopefully that'll work. Brains Up says the missile knows where it is at all times. It knows this because it knows where it isn't. By subtracting where it is from where it isn't, or where it isn't from where it is, whichever is greater, it obtains the difference or deviation. Yes, technically that is true, isn't it? It's like the long and complicated way of saying it knows what it is. Subtracting where it is from where it isn't, or other way around, you can take the difference for the deviation. I guess you could do a snapshot. If you are serious, I guess we could do a snapshot. But on a less serious note, that is a very complicated sentence. All right. All right. Hey, I would say that's working. All right, I'm going to click on this a bunch of time and then see if there's any orphan nodes or any like trend in the object count. Oh, there are orphan nodes. Ooh, boy. Oh, and it's going up every time I click. Okay, so there's clearly some cleanup we need to do here. What's your theory? What's the theory on who is getting orphaned out here on restart? The player won't notice. Yeah, they won't. You just need to relaunch the game. Just crash and have them relaunch. Pretty easy. As far as their memory is concerned, they're not going to know. Such a small game. Yeah. We're going to have to print out some orphan notes out here. Brainsef says, welcome to Paradox Interactive. You're hired. Yay. I knew I have what it takes to be a game developer. All right. Okay. Input event. Input event. And I think I can do if event is pressed or action pressed, I guess. Action pressed. UI accept. Then print. I think something about orphan nodes. Print orphan nodes. Oh, that's a whole. It's itself a thing. All right. So restart once. We got a few stray nodes. Standard combat config / destroy. Oh, the objectives are getting lost. Because I'm creating a new instance of it. Interesting. The generator. So everything that's in the standard config is getting orphaned here. So that's the fault of theirs. The combat tester, not the combat itself, I think. Robot says, hey, I try a joke. Do you think that when a lot of people are using their brain, it starts to rain? Wait, what? What's the joke? The joke? I mean, it rhymes. Oh, because B-rain? It's like brain. If they're using brain, does it start to rain? Because it be raining? Because it be raining. Maybe if you write that, like, if that's the punchline, you just need one more. Yeah. You just need one more line to complete that punchline. Because brain, the fact that it has the word rain in it itself doesn't translate to it being a word rain, right? But you could say like, do you... oh man, it started raining. A lot of people should be... or, oh man, it's starting to rain. People must be using their brain. Because it be raining. Maybe that's like a little bit better. It's still bad joke. It's like more like a wordplay than a joke. Like a joke structure wise. It's like a word puzzle. Feels like one of those like nonsense quiz. But yeah, I get it. I mean, it can be a joke, I guess. Anyways, so what I have discovered is that on restart press, I am getting an item from the item list, right? And I got the index. And I get the config, which is a preload, and I'm instantiating it here. And then I'm passing it over. Like this. And it gets edited as a child. When I'm resetting, the config is getting removed, but they're not being cleaned. And you don't want to free them because config itself is not something that config is something that's passed, not generated. It's something that's been given, not generated. So if somebody gives me an object, I should never free it because it's not mine to do so, right? Kind of concept of immutability for safety. So here, instead of instantiating it and then forgetting it, we probably want to have active config here, which will just be a combat config. I keep calling it config. Config, I think, is probably the right way. And then we hit that. And we go, if it is something, then we queue free. And we replace it. There's no new one. The orphan should be gone now. This should kill the orphan, I think. And I don't think there's any... Okay. This is another reset I need to do. The selection needs to go away on reset, right? 1. There's no orphan nodes. Clean. The reset call on the UI should happen. So on reset, we should say combat UI or state. Oh, I guess the initialize should do that. Initialize or cleanup, I guess, should hit combat UI and then say clear or reset. Reset. And then the UI on reset. Robot says sorry, but when I was younger, yeah, a lot of guys were playing with words like that, making text poems. It was nonsense for me. Well, now I'm seeing some connections between similar words. Yeah, I mean, I do that all the time too. I think the satisfaction is less that it's funny, but it's more like, oh, it's clever. Isn't that interesting? Funny as in interesting, but funny not as in haha. Line hide. I guess I want to hide everything. Make sure this all happens. Okay. Okay, cool. Action needs to also be reset because it's not. We'll say on combat UI. On reset, take action container and then clear. Yeah. Clear that out. Yep. What about station? Yep. Cool. All right, we can reset the game and restart pretty easily. I want to test a few things here. I want to change the state of the game. Okay, cool. It's working. We were able to restart the game. We have victory condition and with defeat condition. We got to make... I don't know if fire is a thing yet. I don't think we need that just yet. So far it's movement and context. Moving into asteroid gives us cover, and then the risk of running into things. I think we need different enemy types and different attack types now to make it more interesting now. But it's not all about just fighting, so we need to make sure that happens too. So far, the AI is not moving at all. So we can make it more difficult by making the ships try to line up. The AI for the ship. So wherever you go, the enemy ship will try to move towards you. Fire on off CD. Move to line up missile when on CD. Like so. I think that'll ramp up the difficulty pretty quickly. Obviously we have to change like AI logic here. This is like a simple AI right now. Just very one specific type of ship AI. This might not be that great, but we'll see. We're almost there. We're almost there. Okay. Yes, move the ship. So what we're going to do for each of the pieces or piece, we'll say grab the player piece. So we'll say player piece is get nodes and group. So we'll do get tree, get nodes and group, player. Get first, I guess. Get first nodes and group player as combat. Where's technically a ship piece? So grab that piece. And basically, we want to move towards it, I think. Player piece. Grid position. And we want to line up Y, I think. So line up Y minus the piece that's moving. Enemy piece, that is. Grid position Y will be the direction it needs to move. So this will give us the sign. A vector. Yes. So we can do vector 2i of 0 and some negative y value. And if we normalize this, right. Can I normalize? I thought you can normalize. This vector. Is it because... Okay. Let me think about this. So it's that divided by absolute value. Okay, so var ydiff, which is integer, negative or positive, and say y normalize ydiff will equal to itself divided by absolute version of itself. So if it is negative, it'll be -1. If it is positive, it'll be +1. And then if normalized y diff is not 0, then move, which is, I forgot how to move pieces, but I think we can do it like missile. So we did the launch fire AI missile here. Say function move AI ship combat piece. We're gonna do that. I'm gonna pass that in. And then we'll provide direction. Yeah, direction. Then it'll be enemy piece, and then we're saying the direction is 0 and normalized y diff here. Let's see where this is getting used. Nothing here. Current missile. Da, 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 da. Sick. So what we're gonna do here now is target grid position, which is vector 2i, and that is the source's current grid position plus the direction, which is also normalized. And that's the target. And once we have that grid position, we're going to say, hey, the source, your grid position is now updated. And then we don't have to add anything. I do think we have to move it. Where we go, combat state. Or not combat state, signal bus. Signal bus. Moved. Piece. Position changed. Emit. And then providing the piece as information. Like so. And I believe whoever's handling this is going to move it, doing the move between. Yes. Okay, cool. All right. Well, let's see if it works. All right. So there, nobody's lined up. There you go. Ooh, that happens really quickly. It didn't wait on turn at all. We need to make sure it does that. So gotta make sure the pieces move one at a time, or wait every move, because missiles moved at the same time just now. Let's see. Navigation, AI, move AI ship. That's fine. Fire AI missile. We reset it. Don't continue. Like so. Robot says, thanks for chatting and your stream. It was really interesting for me, and sorry my bad English. See you maybe on Monday on next stream. Well, thank you. Thank you for hanging, and thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Probably Monday. Well, I guess I'll be here Monday, but hope to see you then. All right, we're waiting 1 second anyways. All right, there we go. Okay, first thing first, it's gonna start, it's gonna launch. Nice. And then everybody's gonna try to move towards me. Interesting. Few things here. You can't move. It's got to consider the fact that there are other pieces there. So we got to do that check. Also, I noticed that the ship took a damage. in a delayed manner. Which is kind of interesting. I don't know why it did that. Is it because it's waiting? I'm not sure. We'll have to see. One little bit of debug at a time. But we're almost there. Okay. On AI logic for moving, we got to check if the target position has something already. So we're going to say combat state map info. Get pieces on target grid position. And then filter it by piece. And then return if the piece is passable, right? Meaning it's something that you can overlap. And then the is empty check bar is passable. If it is empty, it's passable. If it's not passable. And we only do this if it is passable. If not, we're gonna just ignore this real quick. Yep. So it's not gonna move if there's a ship in the way. So this one's already there. So I can move here and turn. Oh, that moved anyways. Very wrong. So I think I flipped the logic, potentially. Yeah, I did. I did flip it. I should have said this. Okay. Okay. Interesting. Ship piece. It is not passable. What about Hauser? It is not passable. So why is it passing? Hey! Who do you have here? Eris Esra. Thanks for the raid again. Welcome, welcome. Shout out here. Shout out. Eris Esra. Welcome, everyone. Welcome, Raiders. I hope you guys had a wonderful stream. Productive, hopefully. But if not, that's okay too. At least a fun chat, I hope. Welcome, Raiders. A lot of energy here. Another Ezra. Nice. Well, I'm Ezra. But Ezra and Ezra, I guess, is practically the same thing. Agape says, we don't have a raid message, therefore we're not a cult. Ooh, it's true. Chaotic, to say the least. It's always productive with Eris. Eris says, fun and productive indeed. Thank you. How goes the dev work? It's going well. We're finishing it out. Our Dread on Arrival, our little spacefaring adventure game, loosely, well, kind of strongly inspired by FTL and Darkest Dungeon. Okay, for those that are just joining us who hasn't been here before, we're working on a lot of games. We're working on Godot specifically. We're working on this Dread on Arrival game, which is a fusion of FTL plus Darkest Dungeon with environmental puzzle and narrative aspect of Outer Wilds. So if you like all those games, this will be for you. And we have been locked in with the game design doc. We've been working on it for a while, loosely. But we're making a game design doc, well, we made it to lock in some of the features. So you have these, like, this is a little bit of mock-up / we already made this part already. So kind of like Citizen Sleeper or other games where you have this like scene and then you can click on these little point of interest to have little dialogue or exploration. This is how each station would show up as an exploration. So you can have this like aspect of discovering locations, item, unlocking things. And then you can go from major points to another major point. This is considered a major point. So start from here, procedurally generated map that is covered in fog of war. And then if you've been there before, you know it's generally where the direction is, so you know where to choose, but you don't exactly know what's coming up. Versus there's an opportunity to look for a new location that you'd never been to. So there's like aspect of discovery. And then each of this point of interest will provide you with this event/combat, which is tactics. So right now for first part, oh shoot, we're going to get an ad in 30 seconds, so I'm going to be really quick. So the first part for this first iteration, we're trying to get this combat plus the procedurally generated map aspect for playtesting. And that's coming up within a week or two. And so we're finishing it up. We're pretty close. Yeah. With that, I'll send you over to ads for a little bit. I'll see you after the ads. Well, if you're cool, you're not watching an ad right now, so here we are. What ad, says Tony? Oh, Tony's got no ads. Well, look at you. Special Tony. Good to see you. Good to see the adless people. But yeah. Well, either way, we got the combat going on. Oh yeah. So right now the problem is that the ships are running into each other where they shouldn't. White if it's 0. Cool. So we'll say 0 if this is 0. Else do this. We're moving the eye ship here if it is passable. We're checking the target position and we're filtering that position's pieces by seeing if they are not passable. So if this list is empty, then it's passable. If not, we're going to return here. Captain McFriendly says, clearly, no wonder you and EE are friends. Oh, the Eris Erisra? Yeah, you guys don't mess around. Polished devs, exactly. Polished to shine. I don't quite understand why it's failing. Because this one is going to try to move into this. All right, I'm going to put a check mark here. Or not check mark, but rather a debugging breakpoint. So I can make sure it happens. Target position. I think there's 30 more seconds of the ad. Really long, 3 minutes. I mean, that's what I get for doing like 1 hour stream between ads. But I don't know. Who knows what people prefer. All right, let's see. I'm going to end turn. Little missiles launched. End turn over here. We're going +1 this direction. We step over. We say, hey, is this passable? It shouldn't be, because there's a ship there. It says it is not passable. So we come over here and return false. Great. So it didn't move. Okay, well, it works. I guess I just needed to restart it. So what if I go down 1? Ah. Okay, turn order matters. Well, this one is not moving anymore. It should still move. Hold on. Interesting. Let me see. Oh, you know what? I know what I did. I'm not updating the map info, I think. So when we are moving and we emit this position has changed signal, we come over here, we say we're going to move the piece. But this happens on the battle grid, not on the map info. So I do think as part of the movement, we need to also update the map information. So we go combat state. I mean, this is my issue. I shouldn't have implemented it this way, but update grid position of the source to the target grid position. There you go. This will work perfectly now. All right, starting it out. Oh, shoot. I think I missed a notification here. Oh, thanks for the... Whoa. Yeah, thanks for the sub on YouTube. Mykola. Or Mikola, maybe? All right. This is perfect gameplay right here. By the way, this is my combat system tester. So you can see this UI is specifically for testing the combats. So I can choose different types of combat and start it. I can restart it. So that we're just kind of isolating the combat itself from the game. Anyway, so if I go... Well, if I stay here, this should try to come here, right? Oh, bug. If I end turn in the middle of action, it doesn't cancel the action. I need to change that. Let's see. So combat action for move. It's receiving grid selection stop requested as cancel, I think. What else is cancel? Yeah. This needs to go out, I think, on end. So navigation combat. When end button is pressed, which I guess end turn is this one. We got to do combat signal and phase. This happens. Right. So we're going into the player resolve, which means during the combat state, when it goes to player resolve, we got to make sure we cancel all the selections. Not under process, but under transition here. So we are making all the crew unselected, but also we got to update the grid. So we'll say combat. Not combat. Is it battle grid? Battle grid. Clear overlay, I think. Overlay. Is overlay here? Hold on. Where am I painting the grid overlay? I can't even remember. Oh, maybe it's the grid handler. Grid handler. Combat. Why is it not available here? It should be. Right? Oh, there's a state. State transitioned. Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna give grid handler here. I mean, action is here too, so var grid handler will be combat grid handler, and then provide that. Whoa. As part of it. And then from the grid handler itself, on scene transition into resolve, we'll say cancel grid selection, which which is stop requested. Cursor is off. This goes off. I think the overlay also needs to get removed, right? Clear overlay. So we'll go grid, handler, clear overlay. There you go. That should do it without any issue. Potentially other bugs that we'll see. We do move and turn. Yay. Okay. And then selecting it doesn't do anything. I can move again and turn. Sick. The ships will chase me, so I can run away and then try to move up. Depending on the turn order, the ships will follow me. Nice. Cool. Let's see. They can pass each other. They cannot. Let's see. But if you go right next to them... Oh. Why is this... Hold on. That's a bug. That should be passable. It's considered unpassable. Asteroid piece is passable. It seems like the ship position hasn't updated accurately, which is interesting. This one should be able to move. Oh, it's not. It thinks that the ship is still here. Let's see. Bug is bug. Bug is bugging. Okay, so we got the AI here. Back to the AI logic. Move the AI ship. We're updating the data to say, hey, this piece, we're moving its position. Like that. Okay. Oh, I got it. I got it. I shouldn't do this. There you go. This is better. Yeah, it wasn't removing itself from the previous position because I was manually changing it. I should have made it so that it's not allowed to do that, but anyways. We end turn. It's going to try to shoot. You can come up here and then try to missile out. I might actually make it so that the there are less batteries available to start. There's 5. I think we might have to work with 4 instead, so that it's a little bit more challenging. There you go. Ooh, scary. Yeah. I think I'm going to turn O2, whoops, power off from O2, turn shield on. And then we're going to shield the shield station and launch missile. Launch missile here. Yay, it's working. Good. Hey, it's looking good. At least it's has some resemblance of playability. No sound effect though. All right, victory, and I can restart. Beautiful, great. Victory, defeat. We can restart. The shield works. We still don't have any impact on the O2, like what it means to have the O2 be cut off. I guess I need to make sure that the players lose health. Players should lose health if the O2 is empty. How about this? O2 gets consumed. Because I feel like I need to indicate somehow that the O2 is being consumed and... Oh, no. I think if the O2 flow is off, the valve is off, then it gets consumed if there's somebody in there. I think that's what we're going to do here real quick. So at the beginning of the player main, when we enter player's main turn, basically we will do some sort of O2 check where if the O2 is off, it gets consumed a certain amount. If it's on, it still gets consumed, but then it gets recharged a certain amount, I think. I think having the O2 supply on, so we're going for 100, I think. So over here, I think when we're initializing the station, we're saying that the station's O2 is by default. What is it? Banner, panel, I think we're saying it's 100 by default. Let's see. Station panel here, info panel, and basically O2 progress bar is at value 100 and then steps are 1 here. Okay, cool. So I'm going to keep value at 100 for O2. And then basically on every turn, I will add, let's see. Let's say a person stays in a room without a supply. It lasts 4 turns. If there's a fire, then it double consumes, right? So fire consumes 25. A person consumes 25. Yes. I think that'll be fair. And then the supply supplies just enough for 1 person. So if there's multiple people in a single room, there's some management that needs to be done, which I guess like is like why you made a space station and then you made it so that like some of the rooms don't have enough O2 supply for multiple people. That seems a little silly. Yes, it is silly, but I think that's okay. I think that's something we can upgrade. So we'll say in the beginning, we'll say the O2 consumption happens first. So for station in Combat UI, station info container, get panels. Well, first of all, for each of the panel, we'll say station is O2 on, var supply will equal to 25 if O2 is on, otherwise it's 0. And then consumption will equal to, for, I guess, 25 times number of crew in station, which will be, I guess, combat UI, crew info container, get crew info panel, I guess in location, I suppose. get panels. And then we're going to filter by crew panel. Really messy here, but it's okay. Crew panel, which will be combat or combat crew panel, I think. Combat crew panel. We're going to see what station they're in. Current station. If they're in the current station, station type, like so. And then we'll do size. There you go. So we're going to multiply 25 by consumption. And supply is 25. That information I need to display it somehow, I think. And that gives us an opportunity to add like psychosis, like hyperventilation or panic attack, which makes you consume more O2. I think that could be interesting. But then you get 2 action. You consume more. If you get panic attack, if your crew gets panic attack, you consume more oxygen, but you get extra action or something like that, you know? I think that would be fun. Okay. So consumption, and we'll say consumption first. So station, update, O2 display, or not update, but O2, is there a function for this? O2 progress bar value, current O2. Okay, so I just need to do a current O2. Current O2 minus or equals max between 0 and this minus consumption. Well, actually, the order is going to matter, because if I consume the presented O2 first, then supply it, you get a chance of having O2 yeah. I think what needs to happen is simultaneous consumption and supply calculation. And if there's not enough O2, no, that's too much. I think if there's 0 O2 in the beginning of the turn, players suffer a damage. Yes. Will that make sense? Hold on. So I station a player or station a crew. And then because of that, the station becomes 0. Do I expect our crew to suffer damage? No. I think what I'm going to do is that as long as there's any amount of O2 when the crew is about to consume, they don't take any damage, even if it becomes 0. Yes. Yes, that's what I'm going to do here. So we have to take supply minus consumption to get the diff, and then we're going to subtract that from the current O2 compared to 0. Instead, though, but why would you take? What if there's just enough oxygen? this is kind of tough. It's tough to make it like playable. And then to make it read well for the players. All right, let me think. Unless it's a separate step, it's not gonna be simple, I think. So we get O2 supply. I don't want it to be too complicated. I guess that makes sense. As long as you know what? Yeah, that's what it needs to do. It needs to supply first and then consume. So if we're at max, it's not going to supply more. A player will consume whatever is available. And on the next turn, the supply will fill it back up. And then the crew will consume it again. So what we need to do actually, instead of taking the difference here, the current O2 needs to be between minimum of 100 to supply. And then get out consumption, like so. Yeah. I don't know why there's a warning here. Ternary operand values of the ternary operators are not mutually compatible. Oh, I need to do this. Yep. All right. So that'll change the O2 setup. Supply, consume. During the consumption, if there isn't enough, everyone takes damage. Yes, everyone takes damage. If there's 3 people stationed and there's 25 oxygen and 25 is all there is, it gets depleted. That's still not enough for all 3 of them. So they all take damage, I think. So basically, at this point, if station's current O2 is less than consumption level, then all crew on station takes 1 damage, like so. Suffocation damage. We'll do that. Suffocation damage to the crew, which is by doing this. Our crew in this. Not bar. For crew. Which has crew. Combat crew panel. Combat crew panel. They will take damage. Current or crew info. Current health will minus equal to 1 or will equal our current health will equal to current health minus 1, max between 0 and this. And of course, if they reach 0, they'll die. So this kind of does that navigation thing, I think. Adds that complexity. Hopefully it's not too crazy. So they're all in navigation right now. So if I unturn, O2 is way down. And they all took damage just now. So I'm gonna move them. Go to here. Go to here. Oh, it just got really complicated. A little bit hard. Until I upgrade it, I can't have multiple station here. We're gonna have to go to O2 here. Launch missile. Maybe 25 is a lot. Maybe we should reduce it to 5. Hold on. Okay, 25 supply. Maybe each crew consumes 10 instead. Yeah, I think so. So having 2 crew member in a station is still manageable. Like barely manageable. Okay, so what we're going to do instead for this, on state change, we're going to consume 10 per crew. There you go. That should work, I think. So right now, they just consume 30 here in the beginning of the turn. So we'll move here. Go to the weapon. Cow. Let's see. So I can fire a missile. Move away. Move away here. We're going to go into the asteroid field. Launch a missile. Launch another missile. I can hide here. Yeah, I think I have a strategy here. This works. Okay. And then... Ooh, the power management is a little bit tricky here. I mean, I don't want to turn off O2, do I? I mean, shield is... Okay, so far I don't need a shield. It's not that bad. Wait, why did my missile not go? Wait, how... Alright, that's a bug. The player got damaged when player's ship or player's missile. Enemy ship moved into the player's missile, which is kind of weird. Okay, cool. All right, something's happening, something's not happening. Overall, I think the game is coming along. There's a turn. I just need to add... Okay, so now I need to add different types of weapons. But before that, I want to add different types of enemies so that there's some challenge in that without any upgrades. And then I think I'm going to start thinking about customizing the ship so that people can start strategizing and building the ship into something. So, yeah. And then tutorial, which is kind of tricky. I don't know how much tutorial we need for this, but we'll see. We'll see. All right, I think that's a good stopping point here. I know Eris just like rated me 30 minutes ago, but that's just kind of the capacity I have right now. Thanks for watching, everyone. If you are interested in following along, make sure you follow here. I stream Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. That's my streaming schedule. And we're going to continue until we make our games. All right, Hypnotic's here. We're going to go to Hypnotic today. Break time. It's probably working on another game here. Hey, is that a card game? Are you making a car game, Hypnotic? Doesn't matter. We're going to start right here. The thing about Hypnotic is that Hypnotic is in our chat. That's what he does. Weird behavior that only Aussies do, I say. All right. Thanks for watching, everyone. I'll see you next time. Thanks for Raiders. Thanks for the follow and all that. Bye. And of course, YouTube.